Hello, stock and commodity friends, checking in on the market rundown right now. And we had the SPY bulls start the morning with some strength, following through with the Friday strong bounce that we saw and the strong close at the end of the day Friday. But what we have is a scenario right now, and just imagine the psychology of what's occurring, where we have a clear daily uptrend of higher lows and higher highs. We have established a new daily higher low at 267.83, and I call this our new daily higher low because momentum has shifted enough that we are clearly seeing a bounce attempt to see continuation and follow through. We have two scenarios on how this is going to play out. We're going to be unable to break resistance of 273.44, and we're going to roll over and break the low of Friday's support of 267.83 and change the daily trend. That's scenario number one, and that's the bears' only hope at this point. Scenario two is we continue the trend. We set our higher low, and we break 273.44 for another higher high. Where I stand right now, I have a bearish position in SPXS, which is a hedge for my parents' long-term portfolio. And fortunately, I'm in a position where I can set my stop loss at break even. And if I were to stop out of that trade, that means that on the hourly time frame, we've established a higher low and a bull break to a higher high, and that would stop me out of that trade at break even. From there, I would take a step back, reassess the situation, and probably wait until the upper 270s to re-enter and begin scaling into that position. But where we stand right now, the hourly time frame gives us some more clues. So we saw the significant bounce from the Friday lows. We topped out at the high of pre-market of 271.90. We consolidated all day today, but it's still pretty healthy consolidation considering the size of the bounce on Friday and how much we pulled back today. We're going to be watching the lower highs. So there's an hourly lower high at 270.95, and then we ended with another level lower, unable to break that resistance by 8 pennies at the end of the day. If we can break 270.95 tomorrow morning, we shift this hourly momentum and we look for that continuation move for the higher low and then the higher high, and then we're looking back up at that daily resistance level. If we are unable to break 270.95 tomorrow and we break 270.03, the low of today, then we're going to look to the upper 260s and keep our eyes on that key daily support level. So how this hourly chart shifts tomorrow is going to indicate what's the most likely scenario. Daily continuation to continue the uptrend to a higher high, or a lower high and then a lower low, shifting the daily momentum, indicating weekly consolidation is coming. Right now, IWM closed very strong at the high of the day. This increases the odds if tomorrow IWM breaks 151.60, the top of its move at this point. That would increase the odds that the SPY bulls were going to break its resistance in the 273s and see continuation as well. So we're always looking for little clues and pieces of the puzzle that shifts the odds of what's most likely to happen. And right now we have our daily higher low at 148.39. The hourly time frame for IWM has been stair-stepping higher. We consolidated this afternoon, established a new support level of 150.38, and then went on for continuation with a strong close at the end of the day. So as long as the bulls hold 150.38 tomorrow, they keep the hourly uptrend, and we're eyeing that 151.60 key resistance. QQQ, in comparison, is much more like SPY. We have the high of the bull move on the daily, the low of the daily pullback. The bulls are attempting to see continuation. If we cannot break 171.37 and we roll over and break 166.57, we lose the daily uptrend. If we see continuation over 171.37, the daily uptrend remains intact and the bulls see the follow through. The hourly trend for QQQ, very similar to SPY. High of the bounce. Let's turn on extended hours. So high of the bounce is 169.64. Low of consolidation is 167.98. And an hourly lower high is 168.89. So just like SPY has a key hourly resistance, we've got a key hourly resistance on QQQ to be watching tomorrow morning as well. Here after hours, not much action. So it's looking like pre-market. We're going to have to check in on these hourly timeframes and see where we stand. XLF on the daily time frame pulled back and broke support, losing the daily uptrend. But it's exactly the kind of reaction the bulls want to see. When you break support and get no follow through and the bulls start to try and buy that dip, that tells us to zoom out and look for the potential of a bull flag. And right now on the weekly time frame, this is extremely healthy consolidation on the financial sector. So the hourly trend, we have our low of the pullback, our high of the bounce, 25.80, our higher low of 25.62, and the bulls have to break 25.80 tomorrow to see this hourly trend change confirmation and try and make our way back up to the recent high of 26.23. If tomorrow morning we cannot break 25.80, we're going to look down to 25.62 key support, and then a lack of support immediately below that area if we do break it. So for my style of trading, it's all about odds. I always want to be putting myself in the most favorable scenario. I never know what's going to happen, but I know what's most likely to happen. So use all these little clues in combination to each other with these different time frames and try and put those pieces together to get a picture of what's going on. Let's see, VIX here. I was going to say IWM again. VIX is looking to change the hourly trend, which we have been unable to do. 1509. Let's see, we had a bottom at 1504, bounce, higher low, lower high, bear break, still held 1504 support. We break all kinds of resistances, but we have not been able to confirm any higher low and higher high to confirm that hourly trend change. Every little bounce, even though we break resistance, just gives us lower highs and lower lows. So support is 1562 and 1504 from here. And to start to shift this momentum, step number one, we have to break 1650, and that would have us looking for the potential of some short-term upside. But if we can't break 1650, bears keep complete control of the volatility index. Oil on the daily time frame broke that 51.31 key support, but only by a couple pennies. We broke it by 9 cents, and then the bulls showed up in a big way to buy that dip. So looking at oil, I'm going to use the 4-hour time frame because there's a lot more trading hours in a day, with it trading in extended hours as well. And there's clear lower highs to be watching here. 52.98, 52.64, and then we double topped at 52.61. So support 51.22, still not breaking the 4-hour lower highs. If we break the 4-hour lower highs, we're going to look for a daily bounce to get going, and we'll look for a daily lower high compared to the recent top of 55.73. And if we are unable to break the 4-hour lower highs, we're going to look for continued pullback on oil, which could indicate further weekly consolidation is coming. You can see the bulls are doing everything they can to defend the support level. If it's lost convincingly, clearly weekly consolidation to form a higher low will be underway. Natural gas saw a strong start to the bounce this morning. It's still a daily bear flag at this point. We've had 1, 2, 3 daily bear flags leading to lower lows. And if the bulls are going to turn around this momentum, we need a 4-hour higher low. So we got support at 2602, resistance at 2782. And now we're looking for a higher low, sooner the better, to give the bulls a chance to try and change this trend. And there's this setup for the potential of an inverse head and shoulders pattern here, where we would have the left shoulder, this would be the head, and our neckline is very similar, 2768, 2782. And if we come down here and can round out, form our 4-hour higher low tomorrow morning or overnight, and then see a bull break for continuation, that would tell us that our daily bounce for real, our real daily bounce, is finally underway. But at this point, the odds favor the bears because they have the trend in their favor, and until we see a clear 4-hour trend change, that's going to remain the case. So it's another instance where the 4-hour move did break some resistance levels, but we need the clear higher low and higher high to convincingly shift that momentum. We're watching these exponential moving averages, the 12 and 26 period, and we look back historically, how have they played out? We had a clear bear cross in the 460s, and we dropped all the way down under $3. We had a bull cross for a 25% bounce. We had a bear cross for the bears to take back over completely, 340s, and we dropped all the way down, pretty much an 80-cent drop. And now we're watching, can the bulls cross this 4-hour exponential 12 period over the 26 period bullish and give another solid signal like it has in the past? And in order to do that, we're going to have to see that head and shoulders pattern, the inverse head and shoulders pattern that I just drew as a possible scenario. That's going to have to play out to give the bulls any hope. So from here, I still have my SPXS position. I will exit that if we see a break of 271.90. Unfortunately, I am in a position where I can set my stop loss at break even, and if I'm going to get triggered out of that trade, that means the hourly time frame has seen a higher low and higher high, and that's the ideal scenario you want to be in. When you get a clear shift in momentum or a clear trend change and you can stop out break even, that keeps you very comfortable as a trader, because I know that if we do not change this hourly trend convincingly back to the bulls, I'm going to stay in this trade and likely going to continue to be profitable. So it's a position to hedge against my parents' long-term portfolio again, And if I were to get stopped out break even, I just zoom out and I would probably look to reestablish another position in the upper 270s from there. We'll take it one day at a time as always, and we'll check back in tomorrow to see how these hourly timeframes play out and whether or not the bulls are able to shift this momentum back in their favor as they have done for the last 7 weeks in a row.